Why can't you focus? Why can't this camera focus? No. Why can't your mind focus in on what you're doing? Hey, this is Adam Broussard here. And today we're going to go over just quickly focus, mindset, focus. So, I don't have a lot of successes. I have a lot of failures. But the one failure that, man, I really don't think anybody would ever say is Adam is distracted and has lack of focus. You see, as I continue building upon my businesses, I go through times of good and times of learning and opportunity. Let's call that learning and opportunity. And so right now I'm in the middle of learning an opportunity, and I'm losing track of focus because of the stress and anxiety that comes with the weight of dealing with things that are within and without your control. And so what brings me back day to day is, what do I need to get done today to move the needle a little bit? And how is that in line with the overall goal of what I'm trying to achieve and realistically what God wants me to achieve? What is the plan for me? And so the way that I focus is I write down things, and I write it down, I type it out. Like, I got a lot of thoughts written down, okay, or typed out, both actually. And when I'm lost in the woods, which can happen for sure, and especially the more pressure you're under, the more you get inside your mind, and all these things start saying, man, this ain't gonna work out, this ain't gonna do, etc. Well, that's when you write down more ideas and more thoughts and let that flow out of you. And then you look at them and you coordinate what in these ideas are in line with what I need to do next. And is there anything that's high priority that would, man, this one meeting, boom. And a lot of it boils down to just how much action are you really taking in the day. And so today I spent 3 hours driving. All right. So that's kind of like dead time, because you're driving and you're not at, I'm not at a computer, or whatever. But for me, it's not dead time. I was on the phone 90% of those times, 90% of that 3 hours. And the other 10% was thoughts that I was having of, what do I need to do when I get to the destination? And so I utilize that dead time, which I do very often, especially when I'm driving that long. Who can I call? What can I make happen? What can I do? And sometimes it's just touching base. Sometimes it's not even at all, like, it's not necessarily like, hey, I make this call and boom, I make a sale. But sometimes it is. And so I really want to harness in on the focus side, because where people go wrong in their focus is they let other things determine where their mind is at. And I've been getting better and better and better at this, because the more problems you have and the more weight you carry, man, your mind can totally wander, okay? And so if you can compartmentalize those things and just say, man, what is within my control today? And if it's something that I can't do, or any, just nothing about, okay, boom, That's not going to get done today. And even in the midst of turmoil, and I'll be completely frank and honest, even in the midst of turmoil, when things are melting around you, you still have to have the focus. Because if you feed into what's going on around you, you'll never survive to see what's on the other side. And if you want a chance of survival, and when I say survive, doesn't mean life or death, it means business life or death, or job life or death. If you want to see the potential on the other side, you just got to keep going. And the only way you can keep going is focus on keeping going. And so there has to be something within that says, man, I got to get rid of all these distractions. How many of you guys just have distractions everywhere? Your phone distractions, your co-workers distractions, your other people problems distraction, your Facebook and all these other things distraction. If you give them a purpose, like, man, when I go on Facebook, I'm not being distracted. I'm going to promote my business or the business or the people that I'm working for, and you get in, get out. That's not distracted, that's focus. Distraction is, hey, I'm going to go on Facebook and I'm going to lollygag, I'm going to look at the pictures, I'm going to like, and I don't really know what's going on. I'm not studying nothing, I'm not looking at nothing. That's distraction. We're not designed to be distracted. We're designed to stay focused. And when you can start focusing, you'll realize how many people are not focused. So when you get into a conversation, man, prepare yourself for the talking points and drill down on it. And at the end of the day, you will see time and time again that most people are distracted when you become more focused. And there's so many conversations I have where I have to stop people from going to the left and to the right. So if there's a center line, all right, where the conversation is, how many people do you get engaged with in a conversation where here's the center line and then they go to the left and to the right, and they're missing all this right here, and you're sitting back like, man, I don't really care about the left and the right, just talk about the center, because that'll be a much shorter conversation, much easier conversation. Like, I don't need all these stories, I don't need back end stories. There's some conversations that require a prep up to that center line, but most of the time it's not. It's pretty cut and dry, and most people don't really want to sit there and listen to everything on this windy road. And so staying focused, you'll learn that, man, that there's a lot. How many times do I do that? How many times do I get into a conversation and I'm totally like enamored with my focus on just not paying it, not really getting my point across. Now there's a difference between trying a few different ways to get your point across, but that's part of focus. Because if you can recognize that somebody is not really understanding what you're saying, then you need to go at it from a different angle. Focus, focus, focus. Focus in the good times and focus in the bad times, because when the times get rough and the seas are rough and the waves are crashing, man, that captain that can stay focused to go around those waves will survive. And I'm going to tell you this right now, I have survived the waves of my past, and I'm going to survive these waves that are crashing against me right now. And there'll be smoother seas with a stronger boat afterwards. How long can you go through the roughness? And that's just how long can you stay focused. I encourage you to reflect and look back at yourself. Look at yourself realistically, like I do, day to day. And Were you focused today on getting the things done, or were you not? And notice whenever you do stay focused, you get a lot more done. Period. You get something accomplished. Something noticeable. Something that you can say, yep, that really helped me out right there. So, think about it, check it out. Reflect on yourself, look in the mirror, and just stay focused. That's how you increase everything around you. And ultimately, that's how you go through the storms. God bless.